Back in the day of social dynamics, okay, and human skills, we would call this physical escalating. And I don't like that word. I do not like the word physically escalating because it implies that you're doing something to somebody and they are on the receiving end of it and you are the doer. And I don't like that at all. Okay, so erase that from your brain. Physical escalating or like kino escalating, whatever. Erase it from your brain. Any interaction. I want you to replace it with this. Physical relating. Physical relating. Say it with me. Physical relating. Physical relating. Okay? It's got to be a mutual thing where you're doing it together to each other versus like you are physical with somebody. Like you got your arm around somebody, you're like holding on to them or holding their hands or like whatever. It's got to be something where it's mutual. If it's not mutual, then it's not actually in agreement. Both people have to be in the decision of it to continue to do it together. Does that make sense? You have to be agreeing to do it together. If the other person is not an active participant in it, it doesn't work. Like what I don't want is this. I don't want, like, let's say this is like the physical plane of some sort. I don't want it where it's like you're doing and then the person's just like that. I don't want that. I want it like where it's like you're doing, you're investing into it, and they're investing into it as well. This is like my ideal. This is what I want. Whenever I'm thinking about physically relating with somebody. Now, the way I view it is I'm constantly, moment to moment, reading the signs. And the sign that I'm always asking myself is this a hot situation or is this cold? Is this hot? Is this cold? Is this hot? Is this cold? Now, it can go, and you'll have situations like this where it's like everything seems like it's going really nice, it's friendly, it's agreeable, and then it goes cold at that moment. And that's fine. If it goes cold, understand it goes cold. Don't try to force it to be warm again. Take some time off and chill, right? So just because it was warm a minute ago and it's cold now doesn't mean it's going to continue to be warm. We don't take that for granted. The same way, just because it was cold a couple weeks ago doesn't mean that it's going to be cold forever. We can adjust back and forth, okay? So can I get a volunteer? Oh, you're excited about that one. All right, come up here, bro. We'll have you on this side. Okay, so I'm gonna do this in just like a very, very like social kind of like bro way at first, and then I'll like expand into some other situations that would be making sense. So physical relating, okay? Let's say there's 4 different kinds of spaces, okay? 4. There's a social space, which is about 2 arms length away. Do you like that? Social space, AKA the COVID space, all right? The 6 feet apart, that's social space, okay? If I don't know you socially, this is like the distance that I'm at. Then there is like an engaging space, kind of like a common space. Friendship space is about an arm's length away. And then romantic space would be like closer to that, in that bubble. You see what I'm saying? Romantic, friendly, social, don't even know you. So when I'm speaking to somebody, I'm constantly aware of this space. I'm constantly aware of it, and I'm dancing sort of like in and out of it from moment to moment. So let's say I'm talking and I notice let's say he freezes up, he crosses his arms and something like this, I might just back off for a second. Put my hands behind my back, you guys can see it, my hands behind my back, and just chill and talk, okay? And then when the person eventually maybe opens up physically, then I might go in and just like talk like that. See, I'm always aware of the space. You can put your arms behind your back, you don't have to, but this is just like a nonverbal sign of like, I get it. It's like body language, like, yeah, I get it. Hands behind my back, I get it, okay, cool, right? And then I can back out of the space. Now let's say we're just talking, and you can relax your arms. Let's say we're just talking or having a great conversation, and he's like laughing. You don't have to actually laugh, just like make the face of somebody who's laughing, right? And then I can like go into like the personal space, the friendship space, right? I'm reading it moment to moment, whether it's hot or it's cold, hot or it's cold, whether it's on or whether it's off. Another thing you can do is when I call actually hot and cold is you have to feel the tension in the person's body. Okay, say that. Feel the tension in the person's body. Feel the tension. Try it again. Feel the tension in the person's body. Awesome. Okay, so like a lot of tension in the shoulders or the neck or the face could be cold. If they're like looking away, it could be cold. But it's always a combination of the two. It's like, is there tension in the body and where are they looking? I'm always judging those two in moment to moment. So cold could be like this, right? Put your arm around me. Feel the tension in my shoulders. Is that hot or hot or cold? Yeah.
Cold.
Okay. You see that? Slight difference. All right. Let go. Okay. Put your arm around me. Here's a trick one. Is it hot or cold?
Hot.
Why?
Because you're leaning into me.
Yeah, my body weight is on him. If I were to like that, I would like kind of like semi-push him, okay? Put your arm around me again. Here's a tricky one. What about that?
Cold.
Why?
Because you're pulling away. Kind of tensing up.
A little bit, but I also have eye contact. You weren't looking at me, so you didn't see it. Maybe you were a little cold. Yeah, you were looking at me, so you didn't see it. Okay, try again. Okay. Notice this, like this would be like suspicious, and this would be cold. Or this would be cold. This is like suspicious, like,
yeah.
I don't know, right? Like I'm unsure. So every moment to moment, I'm judging that. I'm judging whether the person's hot or cold, okay? Like if I'm holding somebody's hand, grab their hand, okay? And they're like holding on, I'm like, oh, okay, cool. If I'm holding somebody's hand like this, my grip, look at my grip. Can you guys see it? Yeah, I'm not cupping his fingers. I'm not interlaced with his fingers. I'm kind of like just loose. So this is like cold-ish. Now, if I was like this, you see that? Now he's cold. He's like, I did not come here to a seminar in the hills. But at least you didn't pay for this. At least it's free. That's a positive part, right? Imagine you paid to be like groped on stage. So this is like, this is at least, this is like, I'm forcing him now. Okay? This is cold. Now let's say I'm talking to somebody. I'm like, hey, come with me. Put your arm here, right? Put your arm on mine. Yeah. And see, and I'm walking with them like this. I would consider this cold because they're not actually holding on to my arm. If somebody was holding onto my arm like this, I'd be like, hey, let's go. Let's go for a, and they're actually like holding on, I would consider them to be interested, right? Or them to be hot. Here's another one. Here's a trick one, okay? You're going to walk over here. You're going to do the same one as leading me. You're going to put my arm on your bicep, okay? And now walk forward and notice where I'm looking. See? I'm like, brr. So the face is important too. The face is important too. Now try it again, and I'm going to show you a little bit more receptive. Do it to me again, okay? And look back. It's like we're going to Disneyland, right? I actually literally think that in my brain. I'm like, we're going to Disneyland. That's what I'm literally thinking that. So like, go here, grab here. I'm like I'm literally thinking we're going to Disneyland. But I'm always receptive of like their physical body, their face, the tension in their shoulders, and I'm judging from moment to moment if it's hot or cold. Even when I do a high five, see, he kind of kept his hand there, that's warm to me. Versus like, watch what a cold high five is. You see, they withdraw. It's like there's a snap to it and they're withdrawing. Now the idea is not to high five somebody and they're like dominating all the way to like ensure it. You have to be reading it moment to moment. It takes emotional sensitivity. Be in touch with your feelings and emotional sensitivity to actually care what the person's experiencing moment to moment. And if they're not experiencing it, you don't want it. You want them to be like meeting you in the middle and being enjoying it. And if they're not, what do you do? Okay, just back up, just chill out, talk for a second, and then maybe later they will be, okay? So, any questions about that? No? Okay, give them a round of applause, by the way. Thank you. I call it the hot-cold dynamic and physical relating, all right? Hot-cold dynamic and physical relating. Oh, by the way, one more thing. If the person's not receptive, you can always just like exist next to them. Like you're actively engaged, but you're chilling back. I don't mean to like just retreat into like your little hole and be like this. I mean like be like engaged, but still like just chilling and talking with them and having a conversation. Not be like, oh, it didn't work, so I give up, and I'm just like uninterested now. That makes sense? So same thing goes for like a high five. Same thing goes for a hug. The person's like hugging you. If their hips are out or their hips in, Are they like looking away during the hug? Okay. What I want you to do is get into groups of 2 and test this out. Okay, I'm gonna give you 5 minutes to test it out. Do high fives, do hugs, do leading somewhere, you know, and just, it's a role play. One person is the protagonist, one's the antagonist, I guess. One person's the doer, one person's the receiver. And just play it out. And the person will tell you, oh, I was cold there actually. Oh, I was not comfortable. And see if you can read the signs. Develop your social intelligence and your emotional intelligence to see if you understand how people are feeling in that moment. Okay? Make sense? Any questions about that? No? Okay, groups of 2, 5 minutes.